Hi everyone and welcome back to A Spring Snowflake. My name is Sophie and today we are going to be talking about what I made in February, particularly to stick to the Scrap Happy Challenge prompt that was practical. For those who are not who've not been here before, I'll stick a card up for the challenge. We are doing something called Scrap Happy this year on this channel, and for anyone who wants to join me, and I give prompts, nudges, little sparks to help you work with your scraps, little bits, nuggets, mini skeins, all that kind of stuff, in the year of 2026, which, good lord, it's March. I am filming this on the 2nd of March. I am filming this in a different place because the light in this room, which is downstairs, is far nicer because it's south facing, whereas my craft room, office, place where all my stuff is north facing and therefore dark. So yeah, there's some shadow coming across, but I think the lighting in here is much nicer. Also, we get to have my lovely temperature blanket from, I can't remember what year this was, behind us. February's prompt was practical, and one of the challenges I set myself and put on the last update, which was 2 videos ago, was finishing this basket. And I have. It's actually a lot taller than I thought it was, which makes it actually a lot more floppy. So what I've been doing since finishing it has been actually folding it completely in on itself. For whatever I use it for, which will probably end up being like projects and stuff, I will bring the sides up as necessary for what's in it, but fold it over halfway. And you can kind of see the spiral effect when it's folded over, because the sides are exactly the same length inside, and yet you can see the spiral. So this project is made out of a PVC base that I bought from, I think, Hobby years ago. And then the yarn is Lily Sugar and Cream, which is a cotton worsted weight. And will we focus? Yes, we will. So yeah, it's worsted weight. It's 109 meters per 70.9 grams. It is American, therefore everything's done in ounces and yards. So 2.5 ounces to 120 yards. Oh, it wasn't that colour. Interesting. I was trying today. In my planner, I have a project section, and I have a knitting and crochet log. This one, no. That I got from, quite a lot of my inserts are from Personal Planner. And I was looking through the Lily Sugar and Cream colourways on Wool Warehouse, which is where I buy most of my yarn. I don't think I bought most of this at Wool Warehouse. I think I bought it in Hobbycraft. And I was trying to work out what this colour was, which is the kind of coral colour that is one of the kind of pinks in my in the basket, and I couldn't find it, and I was like, oh, it must be like tangerine or something. It's not, because this is the ball band for it. It's called Pretty in Pink. I know this is hot pink. Sorry, let's still attach some grey. This is hot pink. I know that. And then this is all the grey I have left. Look at that. It's called Pretty in Pink. I'm going to have to write that down. I'll put that in there. So, yes, this is a basket that I made out of Lily Sugar and Cream. This was all ends and wastage off of a woven placemat. Yes, woven placemat that I made out of these yarns. So I had the dark grey, which I think is called Overcast, the hot pink, the Pretty in Pink, and then I had all these little bits of the psychedelic ombre, all left over from this weaving project, and they were all various lengths. I will actually, this grey kind of shows you some of the, like, what I had left, and I basically said I would finish when either the grey or one of the pinks ran out. But this is literally, I've got 1, 2, 3, 6 strands that are this long. That's it, left of the grey, and I was like, this is silly. I was getting about 6 stitches out of these lengths. I've still got quite a lot of pink lengths left, and as I showed you, that's about as much as I've got left with the coral of the Pretty in Pink. So I think I'm done. This is constructed basically in a spiral, starting at each of the 4 corners. So you can kind of see here, I did a row that kind of attached stitches to the base, and then I kind of went up from each corner, either in grey or the pinks, and they were chasing each other. Basically 4 strands were chasing each other around. When I then got to the end of that, what I did was at the top of each corner, I finished those colours with then a half treble crochet, half double in the US, a double crochet, single crochet, and then a slip stitch. And then when I came, and then I basically just carried on with the pink, the Pretty in Pink, the coral colour, to kind of start, what's the word I'm looking for? Evening it off. It isn't even, you can kind of see there's still a little step. So I did a row of linked trebles, which was the entire thing is made out of linked trebles. And then once I'd done one whole round of linked trebles in the coral, I then did a round of half trebles, not linked, to finish it off. But it's done. And I wanted to get it done in February for the practical prompt. And it is. So I'm really pleased with that. That has been a project for a while. I did not pick it up regularly because I was doing this with a 4.5mm hook, which with worsted weight is quite tight anyway. And then when you link the trebles together, it's a tighter stitch as well. So it was quite hard on my hands. Also, worsted weight cotton is hard on your hands. So I wasn't picking it up. But actually, the prompt, the nudge, the spark meant that I actually did. And it's done, and I'm really happy. So that is the first finished object for February. But wait, there's more. You'll remember these socks that had holes in the heels. They're Afterthought socks. So the tube was Stranded Dye Works. Cannot remember what colour it was. And then the original heels were in this gingerbread colour from River Knits. It was their 100% BFL 4-ply, and the heels hadn't held up to wear. So I ripped out the whole of the heel on this one and some of the heel on this one. You'll see there's still some gingerbread. And I basically finished those Afterthought socks with little scrappy sock yarn, which it's either Opal or West Yorkshire Spinners. If anyone knows, let me know. I think it's West Yorkshire Spinners. It's one of the Birds collection, if I'm not mistaken. And they are done. So these are worn socks. They're very well loved. They've been. You can see from the kind of felting on the sole that I've worn them and loved them. So I'm really glad that they have now been fixed using scraps. That's just a simple Afterthought heel. So I picked up the stitches, and then every other round I would do 2 decreases on each side. The way I do my socks, I will show you in a bit when I talk about what I've been working on, is I use 2 circulars. So half the stitches on one, half the stitches on the other. It's my preferred method to do socks, so that's how I do it in the round. My secondary preferred method is DPNs. Again, you'll see that in a minute. Okay, let's go back to my list for my show notes. There they are. The other finished object is not scrap happy. And it's not practical, but it is necessary. Although you probably won't think it is. So I made a basket of cats. There's actually 5, but one of them is currently with Amelia at school. Fellow parents, particularly in the UK, will share my pain. This week, on Thursday, the 5th of March, is World Book Day. And I don't know what it's like for parents in other countries, but in the UK, for parents of school-age children, this is one of the most hated days of the year. And that is because most schools, in their wisdom, suggest to children and therefore their parents that they dress up as a character from one of their favourite books. It's a point of pain. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a point of pain for quite a lot of parents every year. And actually it was quite funny in my Facebook memories today, what came up was 2023 was the first year my daughter's school did this. In previous years, it was just a pyjama day. They could just go into school in their pyjamas. Sorry, I'm getting more comfortable. So 2023, she went as Meg from Meg and Mog. So witch hat. I knitted a Mog and an owl, for those of you who know those books. Oh, goodness me. One year she went as the dragon from Dragons Don't Share. Last year she went as Rough Nut from How to Train Your Dragon. Technically, Rough Nut is in the TV show, not in the book, but the book is How to Train Your Dragon is a book. And there's only one girl in it, so I think we were allowed to make artistic, we had an artistic license. This year, Amelia, her favourite series of books are the Story Treehouse books. I don't even know if I've got, we've got all of them. There are multiples of these books. It starts at 13, so the 13 Story Treehouse, then the 26 Story Treehouse, then the 39 Story Treehouse, and it goes up in multiples of 13, I believe. It's written by an Australian author and illustrator duo, Andy and Terry, who are the characters, who are the children in these books. They're illustrated, they're kind of graphic cartoon and prose mixture. And there's only one girl in this series called Jill. Jill in real life is actually their book editor. And in a number of the books, Jill has a number of winged cats. And the biggest thing that sticks with Amelia for Jill is that these winged cats are attached to a baby's pram, and then they fly the baby's pram with Jill in it. I think that's what she's told me anyway. Anyway, she's just like, Mummy, I need a lot of cats with wings, and I went, okay. So the first one I made was in yarn that I already had to make sure that actually it would work. The cats themselves are yellow, according to Amelia. I didn't have any yellow kind of thick yarn, because if I'm going to make cats in less than a week, it needs to be super chunky yarn. I used Yarn Smith Snug as a Bug, which is a super chunky yarn. The balls are 300 grams to 150 meters. It is this kind of velour yarn. I'm going to show you one of the finished cats. There we go. This one is Snug as a Bug. Prince, I think, is the thing, and it is colour. What are you? I've written it down. Hang on. Wood Smoke. This is Wood Smoke. This kind of variegated. I really like this one. Technically not yellow, but I liked this print too much to not make a cat out of it. The original one was made in, and I'll put a picture up of the original one, which I made in an evening, to test the pattern and to make sure it was the right size and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the original pattern was in the colour Lagoon from Snug as a Bug, which I already had, because I think I bought it to make Derpy Cat or Derpy Tiger from the K-pop Demon Hunters, and I haven't done that yet. So I then ordered more yarn from Wool Warehouse, because Yarnsmiths is a Wool Warehouse range, in the colours Duckling, Sunshine and Woodsmoke. So we have 2 cats in Duckling. And then we have 1 cat, and I think this is more mustard than Sunshine, but hey, what do I know? Look at these little feet. It's so cute. This pattern, I'm just going to chuck... Oh, they live in this basket we bought from Hobbycraft, which is part of their Easter range. I'm just going to chuck the cats haphazardly in there. They were beautifully in there a minute ago. Anyway, so instead of a baby pram, they're in a basket. Oh, the yarn is 100% polyester. It's that kind of velour-y, squishy gorgeousness. So I've called it in my project log Loaf Cat with Wings ×4. In fact, now it's ×5, so let's change that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So the first one I started on the 25th of February. I then had to wait. The yarn came in on Saturday. I made 2 cats yesterday, and I've made 2 cats today. The pattern I'm using is called Costume Cats, Kittens, and I cannot remember what the other, but it's called Costume Cats. All the links for all the patterns and the yarn and everything, if there is a link to anything I mentioned today, there will be a link to my website, which will be a blog post with all the stuff. Just if you wanted to know where things are. And I will give links to both Ravelry and external sites if there are external site options, because I know not everyone can use Ravelry. I can only use it for a small amount of time in dark mode before I start getting headaches. So yeah, Costume and Halloween Cats, Kittens and Minis. This is by Annie Caraway Art, and there's 20 designs in one pattern. Now, what's really nice about this pattern is it is all in one, apart from the wings and the tail. So the way that it is made, you do different stitches to make the kind of sticky up ears, and then you do different stitches to make the feet. Otherwise, traditional amigurumi rules apply for these cats. Let me grab one. They've all got different coloured eyes. So this one's got blue, the other duckling one's got green. The Woodsmoke one has got light brown eyes, and the Sunshine one has got dark brown eyes. I've used 14mm eyes, which are smaller than what is suggested in the pattern. This is the mini size. So the one that I've got is the Bat Mini Kitten, and I've not put fangs at the bottom of the mouth, as you can see. What else have I changed? I think that's it. But, so this pattern includes 6 mini kittens. Yes, so Candy Corn, Angel, Bat, Hot Dog, Pumpkin, and Soot Sprite, which is done with kind of like furry yarn. And then it's got standard kittens, which are Mushroom, Cactus, Witchy, Pumpkin Spice, Taco, Skeleton, Birthday Cake. And then it's got cats, which are S'mores, Zombie, Cowgirl, oh god, here we go, Pumpkin Beret, Mischief, Vampire, and Ghost Cat. And just to give you an idea of the size difference, I don't know if that's going to show up. There we go. So I've done the mini, which is this size. Yeah, really easy. I can make one of these in 90 minutes. Less than now, because I know the pattern, because I've done it 5 times. But yeah, really good pattern, really well laid out. It's got, hang on, 53 pages to this pattern, so a lot of information available, lots of pictures. Pretty much the last like 14 pages or 13 pages of this pattern are like really walking you through the different stages of making the cat. So yeah, really, really good. Well worth. I think I only paid like £3.50 for this. It's a US pattern. So for the amount of work that's gone into this, I actually don't think the designer's asking for enough money. But it is quite highly rated on Ravelry. So, and I will be adding a Ravelry project page to this once I can get the Lagoon cat back, and do a bit of a photo shoot with them. So yes, that is the only other finished object that was not at all scrap happy, because I had to buy new yarn for it. Okay, what am I working on now? So hang on. Oh, there we go. I need to go back to the show notes because I was looking at the project page. Okay, so I am still working on my love note, which I have, this was not in this bag when I last did my update. This is a project bag from Fibre Fox, which is hand-dyed merino fabric, with a really lovely lining. And the love note is currently sitting in here. I am almost done with ball 3 of the fluff. The yarn I am using is lots and lots of mini skeins from my stash, held together with Cumulus from Fibre Spates, in a dark blue. So I have done the neckband. So I've picked up from the provisional cast on, and have gone up to the neckband. The changes I made with the neckband, I didn't. They suggest going down. The smaller needle size is actually quite a lot smaller. So I use a 6mm for the body, but then for ribbing they suggest 4.5mm, and I did that and I bound off, and it was really tight around my neck. So I then went down just to a 5.5mm and then did a Jenny super stretchy bind off, which is a yarn over style bind off, to give me a little bit more room in the neck. I don't like ones that come up here. I like to have more of a kind of more room in my neckline. I have split for the sleeves. I am working my way down the body. What I really like is that there was a colour change, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it here. There is a colour change directly below the lace, and it's quite a jarring colour change. I don't mind that so much because it's directly below the lace, and actually it kind of shows off the lace. I have done one sleeve. I have little stitch markers hanging off that sleeve, so that every 10 rows, so that as I get to that row on the second sleeve, I know I'm keeping up and I'm not going to overshoot. These are 3/4 length sleeves, and they will be 3/4 length. There is another kind of jarring colour change, but I don't mind that so much. I have split my minis 60-40, so 60% goes into the body and 20% on each of the sleeves, so that the stripes are relatively even, going down the sleeves and going down the body. So once this is done, I will just motor down the body. I need to do, I think I'm at 4 inches. Hang on. Where is my tape measure? There it is. I think I need to get to 8.5 inches from the underarm on the body. So let's have a look. At centimetres, Sophie. I am at 5 inches. So I've got another 3.5 inches to go before I start the short rows to make the high-low back. High-low hem, sorry, not back. Yeah, I think I'll finish. This will definitely be used before the end of the second sleeve. So I'll then get onto my 4th ball of Fibre Spates Cumulus. I think I'll probably end up breaking into my 5th ball, or 5th splat. What is it called when it's that weird, like, almost donut that the yarns come in? Because it's not a hank, it's not a skein, it's not a ball. It looks like a donut. What is it? Answers in the comments. But yes, so that needs to be done. East Anglia Yarn Festival is in 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks? So that needs to be done ideally in a week so that I can then wash it, block it, let it dry, finish it off, ready for East Anglia Yarn Festival. Because it is the make-along project. But that's one of the first sleeve I managed to get done in a day when I was feeling really rough. I had a really bad cold and I sat on Chris's sofa for his entire workday. Not entire workday, for some of his workday last week, and I managed to bash out a sleeve and then pick up for the next sleeve while I was sat there. So I just need to sit for a bit and do it. But I've been making cats. Oh dear. I am missing a project. I'll be right back. I'm hoping you're in the same position because I did kick the tripod as I got up. Quick drink break. I'm slightly obsessed with Dr. Pepper Zero. I was going to say at the moment, it hasn't changed in years. Right. The other thing that I've been working on, mainly at work actually, because it's easier to tote about than the love note, is in a little grey girl bag, snow globe. In a little grey girl snow globe bag. Oh, my words are great today. Is my advent cowl, my dragon's advent cowl, which is the pattern, the Simply Scrappy Cowl from Curious Handmade, or Helen Stewart. This is using 5-gram mini skeins-ish that I got from the lovely Julia as part of an advent swap that I did with friends this year. The Simply Scrappy Cowl is, I think, free on Helen Stewart's website, and it is a 6-row repeat with this eyelet pattern every 6 rows. I am on colour, hang on, so there's 24 in a thing, 24, 23, 22, 21. I'm on colour 20. I have 3 colours left on the stitch holder, but I also have one that hasn't been started yet, so no, it goes that way. So that one, that one, that one, that one. So this one is going to be the bind off. So yes, I'm very close to it being done. I got a lot done within an all-staff meeting this week. So I think I was kind of like halfway through this blue, and I went all the way up there. I've done a few rows in the car on the way to a hockey tournament. One of Amelia's. Amelia is my daughter. She is 9, and her sport of choice is hockey. That's also my husband's sport of choice, so he's very happy. And she had a festival this weekend in a local town to us, about 25 minute drive away from us. And Chris likes to drive his car, and we liked his car more than my car at the moment because my car is squeaking. It's due in the garage, it's booked in. So I get to sit and knit in the car, which is lovely. So yeah, there has been some progress made on it since I think I showed you last, which is very nice. This is going to be an awesome cowl because it's literally going to just, hang on, if I think about, like, it's going to scrunch. It's going to scrunch like that around my neck, which is just going to be really fun. It definitely needs a block and to kind of pull out these eyelets to make it look at its best. But yeah, I'm really liking, look at that. Doesn't that just look beautiful? I'm really happy with it. And I'd really like this done as well by East Anglia so I can take it and show Jules because she's going to be there. So yes, Julia is also known as the Printing Press Workshops, and she will be running drop-in crafty sessions to do some printing and stuff like that. And I did one last year and I made a dragon and it was a lot of fun. So if you are coming to East Anglia, make sure you go and see Julia. And Chewy probably. Chewy should be there. And print yourself a project bag or a tote or something, because It's a lot of fun. Right. Non scrappy. I've also been in this, and this is another little grey girl donut bag, which the lovely Lisa got me as part of an advent swap. This is not scrappy. This is my Christmas Eve cast on, which are some socks, which I was doing 2 at a time, but then I took them off because it annoyed me. And actually the one on DPNs is better to show you, although I will get both out. Okay. So for some reason, and I don't have any other socks on the go, so I don't really understand. Oh, it's because they were in here. They were in the socks that I've just finished. Oh, yay. So Oh, no, I did those on Magic Loop. Okay, never mind. Anyway, in here I've got 2 pairs of socks. 1 pair on DPNs and 1 pair on 2 circulars. I prefer 2 circulars, but I've made more progress on the DPNs ones. So these eventually will be Vanilla is the New Black socks, because I quite like the heel on Vanilla is the New Black. And every time, ooh, are you going to focus? There we go. Every time the colour changes, I am doing a slip stitch every 4th stitch, but I am offsetting it by 2 stitches every colour change. So this one, the next one is 2 stitches over, the next one is 2 stitches over, so that you get a little bit of a fun little pattern going round without actually having to do much thinking. The stitch marker is from the Corner of Craft. It is a beaded stitch marker that Hannah does so well. She is going to be at East Anglia Yarn Festival, and I make a habit of going and buying a stitch marker from her at every show that I see her at. They are 1x1 rib. I do 64 stitches, and the yarn colour is a West Yorkshire Spinners Vintage Tinsel. It's their Sparkle 4-ply. So yes, I have split it into 2 cakes, so I can work on them concurrently. So as I basically do 2 stripes on one, and then I do 2 stripes on another. Flip-flop between the 2. I don't find my tension changes too much between DPNs and short and 2 circulars. However, what's interesting is I have also got shorter circulars. So these are 40 centimetres and these are 60 centimetres. Or 80 centimetres, I can't remember. However, on the 40 centimetre ones, the tips are shorter than on these ones. So hang on. If I hold it up against the package, and I apologise if there's any glare on the package, you can see that they are longer, and I find my tension tightens up on shorter tips than longer tips, whereas DPNs, they're the same length. So I don't, yeah, it's one of those nuances with knitting and all the different ways you can, like different formats you can knit with the circulars and the DPNs and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, the tension is not different with DPNs versus the 2 circulars when the circulars have long enough tips. That's what I was trying to say. But yes, this one is only 1 stripe into the leg. I'm going to do 2 full repeats before I start doing the heel. But these I've kind of picked up when I've not felt like working with giant needles on my Love Note. Because even though it's still knitting, having bigger or smaller needles in your hand is different. Does that make sense? Yes. But it would be nice to have these done. Or to make some good progress on them anyway. The other thing I have been working on, but very rarely, is my temperature cross stitch. I had a bit of wrist pain and hand pain from holding the needle, so I've given myself some grace and said like the temperature's not, the temperature data is not going to change. So I'll go back to it when the Love Note's done. Okay. So we are into March. That means we have a new prompt for Scrap Happy. and this month's prompt is small. Now, that word is deliberate. Well, all of my prompts are deliberately vague because I want people to use the prompts to help them not to make things harder when it comes to projects. So the things I am choosing to concentrate on when it comes to March's practical. I'm going to be working on the love note because I want it finished by March, but it fits the bill because the bits that are going into it are small because they're mini skates. So that is my justification for this working with the small prompt. I'm also going to be finishing, where is it? My Simply Scrappy Cow. That is another thing that once the love note is done, that is the next focus. If those two both get finished in March, which I'm hoping they will because I would like them finished before I go to East Anglia Yarn Festival, which is on the... She's got the planner in front of her. 21st and 22nd, so I will be leaving my house on a train. Well, not my house on a train, I'll drive to the train station. On the 20th. So obviously, if I finish both before East Anglia, so ideally, if I would like them washed and blocked and finished, they need to be done by the 16th, say. That gives me another 2 weeks and a day before the end of March. So, in order to stick to the small and scrappy part of the challenge, I am going to start a new pair of scrappy socks, which I don't need any more projects, but these two will be off the needles, so yay. I currently am working on squares, not currently, because I don't technically class these as scrappy. The year before, the lovely Helen of Giddy Yarns did a monthly club, around the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett, which in this household is a very influential series of books. This is one. This is Sam Vimes colourway. I got the sock set, which is a 50-gram skein of yarn in the main colour and then a contrasting colour. And I have been making crochet squares. They are sat in this Stitches Tees bag. And, oh, I do have one. This is the Ankh Morpork colourway. Which is the squaring the circle or circle in a square, I can't remember, pattern by Shelley Husband, also known as Spin Cushions. So I use the contrast as the centre and then the main as the external, and I've been making, so I get 5 squares out of each set. It does leave you with some leftovers. Let's put that back in the thing. And so I've been in my Wool Warehouse bag that also has the sock set still to go. I do have the leftovers from the squares, the sets I've already done. So I've got these. I haven't weighed them. I really should actually. I'll weigh them out like in between filming and editing, and I'll post on the screen how much each of them is. But it's not quite enough to make a full circle of the contrast. So my plan is I'm going to keep the main colours for joining and border, but the contrast colours are going to go into a pair of scrappy socks, and they are not going to match because I'm basically going to just knit. So I have 12, what's the word I'm looking for? I've got 12 sock sets, which means I'll do 1 sock in 6 colours and then 1 sock in colours 7 to 12. Obviously, I've still got quite a lot. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 sock sets left, but if I can get a pair of socks started now, then as I finish that, I'm going to show you the squares that I've got left. I've got done so far. Yeah, these ones on my blocking board from the lovely Backs at Pigeon's Nest. If I can get stuff started now, then I can just then pick them up again when I have the next leftovers. I think that's my plan. Part of me does want to, and it will very much depend on like how much is left, but that feels quite a lot. If I start doing socks with both colours, with both the contrast and also the main, those socks will be really large. The other option is doing like a sock head cowl, or maybe actually another Simply Scrappy cowl, which I do love a cowl, but I also would like to make some more socks. So yes, that is I've got a few weeks to think about it, so I'll come up with an idea at some point. The reason why I don't... Oh, there's also 2 more sets in here, actually, that are ready to go, that are wound up. The reason why I'm not counting this project as scrappy is because one of the skeins is 50 grams, and that just doesn't feel small enough. These are my arbitrary rules that I've set myself for my own challenge. Ridiculous. But yeah, so that's my plan. That's my plans for the small prompt nudge spark for March. And that is all the making. I'm going to tell you a bit about life and biz and stuff like that that's going on at the moment. So as I said, I'm going to be at East Anglia Yarn Festival. In March, I am also running a workshop at the Makery, which is the local community crafting biz organisation near me, and that is coming up on Tuesday evening, the 10th of March. And then that is it for March plans. Then we're into Easter holidays. And then in Easter holidays, I will be teaching a beginner's crochet class at the Beacon in Wantage, which again is very local to me, for their craft fair, which is on and I'm going to have to find it on my phone now because I haven't put it in my diary yet, 18th of April. And then the next thing I am going to be doing is the Big Flock, where I'll be doing 2 classes. So that's the Big Flock in Bristol, which I'll be doing a Woolly Wire Words or Woolly Wire Creations, and then also it's a Tunisian crochet class. I think I'm doing Next Steps rather than Beginners. It's great that I don't actually know. And that is, on the 17th of May, which is the day after my birthday. And then I've got a few more things going on there, all on the website. If you wanted to have a look at where you can find me. In the UK, I am doing quite a lot of yarn shows. This year, I'm hoping to do a couple more in the autumn as well that I've applied for but haven't heard back from yet. What else is going on in the business? So I'm planning to bring some more kits to shows. I'm only doing one show this year, which is Carry On Crafting. So before Carry On Crafting in July, I will be putting together some kits in order for people to make some of the things that I make ready-made. So flower hairbands, lanyards, some of the things that I kind of sell, but if you wanted to make them. I'm also going to be creating kits that include one of the knitting bees rather than a knitting mill. And I'm currently considering whether I become a stockist of the Cordsmith, which is a similar way of making I-cord with 3 latch hooks that are attached to a handle, which is a very similar way that the I-cord or the knitted tube is made within the Tulip Knitting Mill, but it is about half the price. So currently there's some cogitating in terms of like what kits and what new things to bring to shows. So that's quite an exciting thing that's going on at the moment. Life stuff. I am, as I said, Amelia had broken her arm in January. So this Sunday was her first hockey tournament back. This week is the first week since this term started that she's actually taken her PE kit into school. So her arm seems to be completely mended, which is awesome. And she's a lot happier. She scored 4 goals over 3 games over the festival, so very proud mummy. I am in March doing a miles challenge called 100 miles in March for Mind, which is a mental health charity here in the UK. I'll pop the fundraiser link down in the description, and also linked on my blog post. That is the equivalent of 5k a day, just over 5k a day, which I am going to be doing as a mixture of walking. I went for a walk, hence the reason why I'm in my gym clothes. I went for a walk into town and then back again today in the lovely sunshine that we have right now. And then I'm also going to be doing like treadmill walks and Peloton rides at the gym, and getting out on my bike as well. So yeah, it won't be 5k a day because life doesn't work that way, but I will be trying to kind of do some longer rides, I think, and then some walking back into town. It's just over a mile walk into my local town, which is quite a nice little walk to and from. So that was me this morning, and then there's some really nice walks around where I work as well, so I'll be doing lots of lunchtime walks as well. But yes, so 100 miles. I did a 100 miles challenge last June, I believe, which I didn't make because of illness and injury at the end of the month. But I'm determined this month in March that I'm going to do my 100 miles or beyond. We'll see. What else have I been doing? Oh, I've finished watching. I binged the second part of season 4 of Bridgerton. Benedict's book is my favourite of the series. I've read all of them. And not only do I love it because the main character is also called Sophie, but Benedict is one of my favourite characters in terms of the children, the Benedict children. Bridgerton children. But that book, the kind of premise and the storyline is my favourite. Closely followed by Eloise's book, so I'm really looking forward to season 5. I'm hoping she gets season 5. I will throw things if it's not Eloise. I also think it's Claudia Jesse's time. Like, the actress who plays Eloise is hilarious, and I love her. And I want to be her friend. But yeah, I think it's her time to have like the focus on her. But yes, if you watched it, what do you think? There's some interesting foreshadowing that's happened. For those of you who've read the books, the foreshadowing for one of the other seasons has happened, and kind of, yeah, that was, I think, was very well done. I personally am slightly worried about that season because I think they're going to move away from the book, much like they did with Colin's book. But we'll see. I'm not gonna cast aspersions on something that hasn't been filmed yet. But yeah, I've also just been catching up on YouTube. There's a lot of people that I love to watch on YouTube, and I just haven't been watching recently. I am about 5 episodes behind in Critical Role in their current campaign, which, when every episode is 4 hours long, that's a lot of catching up to do. And I also like to catch up on some of my favourite content creators. So, and I'm not gonna post people. I'm not gonna say people here because I will forget someone. But yeah, so I've been doing more watching, whereas the start of the year I was doing quite a lot of reading. So yeah, that's definitely been my thing this month. And I think that's all I'm going to update you on right now. So, I always love it in the comments when you tell me what your plan is to do for this month's prompt. If you're going to join in, you can either come and comment down below, or come and join us in the Discord and chat about things there. I haven't actually posted my finished object, so I'm going to have to do that in the Discord, either when I'm editing or before. But yeah, how are you going to take the prompt of small and put it into your scrap happy projects? I'd love to know in the comments below. And that is it. So I will, hopefully, next time you see me, there will be a vlog of making and then finishing my love note. And then I will see you in the update. Oh, and then a vlog from East Anglia Yarn Festival, because I am planning on vlogging and being a podcaster there. The podcaster sign-up form is up, so if you do want to be an official podcaster at East Anglia Yarn Festival, there is a form on the website, so do go and fill that in. And then it will be the update at the end of March, which will mean school holidays. I don't feel ready for it to be Easter holidays yet, but Easter is so early this year that we've got like 5 weeks from half term to breaking up, and it's just, ugh. I love my child, I love spending time with her, but holiday shenanigans and planning are challenging for parents. So however much I would love to spend time with her, I also have to work. And that means organising clubs and grandparents. And logistics are challenging at the best of times. Anyway, I will see you in the next one.